This is Hayes Q Jones, your DVD and Blu-ray baller on a budget. And this is HQ Videos for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a current subscriber, what's up? You're greatly appreciated. Come on in, make yourself at home. You're greatly appreciated. For this week's collection video, I wanted to focus on TV shows that you cannot find streaming. So I have physical copies of these television shows in my collection. And I'd actually started out to do a couple movies and a couple television shows. And Googled movies and television shows that weren't available on streaming. And they gave me a decent list. And I went to go look up the individual movies and found out some of these are actually streaming. And this Just Watch tool is a tool that I used. For example, if you look at Dogma here, I just typed that in. Notify, you can watch Dogma not available for streaming. Pop in something like Wonder Falls. They said that was not available for streaming. I clicked on that and scroll down a little bit. And you can actually get that on Apple Plus TV. Let's see, the movie Strange Days, which is not available, never had an American Blu-ray released to my knowledge. It's not available streaming in the US, but you can stream it in Brazil on, what's it, Elmica or Claro. So this is a tool that I use. And I Googled also and did a little research. So I believe this is accurate as of me doing the video. And I was really surprised by one video in particular, for one television series that I didn't realize you couldn't stream on. So it was such a popular television show in the 90s. I believe it lasted 5 seasons, kind of a staple in this particular network's foundation for television shows. So without further ado, sit back, relax, have a drink of a smoke, and I'll catch you on the other end of this video. We're back at the Black Cave. Back at the Black Cave. We are back at the motherfucking Black Cave. I'm going to jump right into it with my first pick for television shows you cannot find online streaming. This is the 1979 comedy sports television show, The Bad News Bears. This was directed by William Asher, produced by Tim Berry, written by Bob Brunner. This stars Corey Feldman, Jack Warden, Catherine Hicks, Billy Jane, Mino Palouse. The plot behind this, if you're not familiar with the Bad News Bears movies, to avoid a year in jail, swimming pool cleaner Morris Buttermaker agrees to coach a Little League baseball team called the Bears. Unfortunately, the Bears are the worst team in the league, boasting a roster of the most inept and least disciplined players in school. Buttermaker, with the help of Principal Rabbit, eventually wins the respect of the Bears, and they even win a few games along the way. And out of the picks that I chose, this is the only one that I haven't seen. YouTuber Movie Edge, so he's seen this, said the television show sucked. I can't confirm or deny, but it is nice to know that I do have it available, so I can watch it at my leisure. Just came out on DVD. This is a CBS release, and it appeared on CBS. So my first pick, the Bad News Bears, Season 1 and Season 2. My next pick is the 1968 action crime drama television series, The Mod Squad. This was directed by Gene Nelson, produced by Aaron Spelling. And if you're familiar with television shows in the 70s, Aaron Spelling was that was the man. You saw him on almost every television show. Written by Tony Barrett. This stars Clarence Williams III, excuse me, Peggy Lipton, Michael Cole, Tig Andrews, and Mike Morelli. And essentially you had 3 juvenile delinquents given a second chance and end up being undercover agents. And in a sense, this is kind of like 21 Jump Street before 21 Jump Street. So if this was like the 60s during the hippie period, and back then you had the cops that were just kind of really stiff and obvious, and you have these 3 young guys, 3 young individuals that pretty much just blended into the whole hippie culture and that what might be considered counterculture now, though. Very cool show. Loved this growing up. Will love just to have enough time just to watch the whole series just back to back. And you probably know Clarence Williams III from movies like Half Baked with Dave Chappelle. I'm Gonna Get You Suckers, just classic actor, class act. My second pick for television shows you cannot find on streaming, The Mod Squad. My next pick is the 1977 comedy variety show, The Richard Pryor Show. This was directed by John Moffat, produced by Bob Ellison, and they used to have musician H.R. Barnum. And essentially this was a variety show. And if you're not familiar with variety shows are kind of a throwback to the vaudeville shows. You'd have dancing, you'd have singing, you'd have comedy, you'd have skits, and that's exactly what it was. And if you look at the lineup, you have people like Sandra Bernhard, Paul Mooney, the late Paul Mooney is a great stand-up comedian. Tim Reed, he was Venus Flytrap in WKRP in Cincinnati. Marsha Warfield, she was in the Night Show, a television show, The Night Show. The great Robin Williams, movie actor, stand-up comedian. Mr. Bang 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 himself, John Witherspoon. So, and this is very interesting skits, comedy. That's Richard. And they have just some of the skits, just give you an idea of some of the topics. And with, again, Paul Mooney, and if you didn't know, Paul Mooney, besides being a stand-up comedian, he wrote most of the material for Richard Pryor. So he was a fantastic writer as well as performer as far as stand-up goes. He's a legend. And this, I guess it's like a little script guide, which is very cool. That just goes over I guess this particular season, or at least an episode. And you have this. So again, if you ever had a doubt if physical media is important as far as watching shows you want to watch, and you want to watch them, perfect example right here, The Richard Pryor Show. Next, I have the 2020 drama, fantasy, science fiction, thriller television show, Raised by Wolves. This was directed by Luke Scott, produced by Heather Belson, written by Aaron Guzalowski. This stars Travis Fimmel, Abubakar Salem, Amanda Collin, Wenta McGrath, Niam Algar. The plot behind this: androids are tasked with raising human children on a mysterious planet. And actually, I've had this for a while, just haven't showed you guys, looking for the right time to show you. Amazing show from Ridley Scott. Why this didn't get a third season is a travesty. Maybe because it was just so different. And if you're a sci-fi head and you like television shows like Foundation, which I'm loving right now, I'm watching season 3, Alien Earth, watching that, the Battlestar Galactica, the remake with John Olmos, that kind of sci-fi, maybe Silo on Apple Plus. If you like those kind of television shows, you'll probably get into this. It's just so different, it's hard to explain, but just imagine androids being able to, I don't give up too much detail though, but essentially androids raising human children, and they're basically going on their programming. And this is an import, which with the way tariffs are going, I don't know if you'll be able to get this imported if it's not an American distributor on eBay or Amazon, but you might be able to get it on Amazon. But fantastic show. Again, it's just very bizarre, just the storyline, and like nothing else I've seen before in sci-fi. So if you like that, again, that you're a true sci-fi head, you'll definitely love Raised by Wolves. My next pick, I was actually surprised that you can't find this show streaming. Then when I looked at the distributor, it kind of made sense though. But that would be the 1990 comedy sitcom sketch comedy show In Living Color. This is directed by Paul Miller, produced by Michael Petak, written by Keenen Ivory Wayans. This stars a laundry list of talented people: David Alan Grier, Keenen Ivory Wayans, Jim Carrey, Kelly Caulfield, Shawn Wayans, Damon Wayans, Tommy Davidson, Carrie Ann Inaba, she's one of the Fly Girls, Takia Crystal, Kamei, Kim Wayans, Kim Coles, Rosie Perez, Def Jeff. Essentially, the show was the brainchild of Keenen Ivory Wayans, the eldest sibling of a large and extremely talented family, whose guidance toward his brothers and sisters would help shape this creation into something truly memorable and classic. And the unfortunate thing about this, after I think the first season or first couple seasons, I guess Keenen Ivory Wayans, creator of In Living Color, was having issues with the network. Just I've seen several documentaries on it. It was like a constant struggle to get some of their skits on the show. Either the editors didn't really grasp the humor, or they just didn't want to take the risk. And it got to the point where he just kind of said, forget it. And a couple of people I did not mention because they were in the first season. And I'll get to that in a moment here. You have J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, for all you who didn't know. She actually started out as a fly girl, one of the dancers. And that he did Rick James before Dave Chappelle. Matter of fact, Paul Mooney, who I just mentioned, was also one of the writers on the show. He actually came up with the Homie the Clown skit. Homie the Clown, he's the one that actually wrote that, I think in conjunction with Keenen. And season 4, I think this was the introduction of Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx, in my opinion, is probably the most talented person in Hollywood. To be able to act, do stand-up, and to sing, play instruments, he's definitely a talent, kind of a throwback to vaudeville or the variety days, where you had people like Dean Martin, Fred Astaire, Bing Crosby. You kind of had to be a jack of all trades to stay up and stay in the public eye. And this is the last season, probably the weakest season. You actually had Chris Rock on here for that season. I think they still had some good stuff on there, but it just wasn't as good as the first couple seasons. You got Biz Markie, but Jim Carrey, Jamie Foxx, David Allen Greer, Tommy Davidson, they're still so talented. They still kind of helped the show along and still kept the show hot and still kind of funny. And my last pick for shows you cannot find on streaming, why you should have your favorite movies on physical media in living color. And these are 5 television shows in my physical media collection that you cannot find streaming. Now, if you made it this far in the video, smash the like, give me the big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. If you have a favorite television show that you cannot find streaming, leave it in the comments. Other than that, may the best of your past be the worst of your future. Everyone, please be safe. Deuces.